This is the moment this entire debate went viral.
You have the American flag behind you, yet you have the hypocrisy of saying the United States military, United States is the greatest terror organization the world has ever seen. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. This is why you're radical.
I didn't say the world. I made this point a million times on your show, Pierce. I was saying when people come on and say Iran is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism, well, just like give me an objective definition of what terrorism means, and then let's apply that standard universally.
You're saying the United States is a terrorist organization. You've already lost the debate. You live in America, tough guy. You have the luxury of sitting in your little studio with your hooded sweater like you're 17 years old. The regime, you mean all American presidents?
I'm 17 years old.
Who's your favorite president in the last 50 years?
Adam, I'm 17 years old.
Who's your favorite president in the last 50 years?
I have a wife and children. Who depends on you, Adam? Your mom?
Personally, we can go.
No, I'm trying not to.
We can go as personal as you want.
Respond to one thing.
I don't care, Dave.
Adam, some substance.
I don't care.
I know, because you don't know anything.
Dave, you're a radical.
So move on. So stop picking a fight with me, dude. You don't know anything about anything.
The state of politics today. For the left, it's a group of woke, blue-haired, ambiguous fellas fighting the establishment dinosaurs of the Democratic Party. And then mixed in there is some people who pretend to kind of be both at times. For the right, today it's MAGA fighting America First, who are really just a bunch of people who thought MAGA was actually America First. And then there's these guys who are admittedly funny, but it's pretty much impossible to tell when they're being serious or just joking. It could be a sad state of affairs if you're a United States citizen and someone who loves this country deeply. But this whirlwind of modern day politics can sometimes bring some entertaining moments. This debate between Dave Smith and Adam Sosnik is one of those times. It's a perfect debate to analyze today because it's an example of what is going on both sides of the political spectrum. It shows what happens when you rely on surface level arguments and logical fallacies to win a debate, and what happens when you just can't move on past a point. There was a universally recognized winner of this debate, according to the internet, but it wasn't because the opponent destroyed them. They destroyed themselves. And here's how.
Dave Smith, host of Part of the Problem, a libertarian who backed Trump in 2024, and Adam Sosnik, who's the Valuetainment host and PBD podcast regular, a former liberal who backed Trump in 2024. Well, welcome to both of you. Dave Smith, we'll come to the tsunami that greeted your last appearance on Uncensored, led by Ben Shapiro a little later.
Piers opens the debate, kind of stroking both of their egos and setting a friendly tone. He compliments Dave on the buzz that he got from the previous show, and he compliments Adam about the success of the PBD podcast. This allows the debate to start off rather friendly, and for the most part it stays pretty substantive, at least for a little while.
The coalition that got Donald Trump elected in 24, that got him for the first time ever to win the popular vote, that coalition has been destroyed. And the final thing I'll say is this, Pierce, I made this prediction on my show the other day, but right now you kind of have these two, broadly speaking, camps, say Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, maybe people like me, who are saying the coalition has been destroyed. And then on the other side, you have people like you played Bacha, Ben Shapiro, who are saying, no, the coalition is fine. What we've learned is that Tucker Carlson doesn't matter. Give it a couple months, Pierce, and I promise you, everyone on that side will say the coalition has been destroyed and it's Tucker's fault.
How much trust you have in the mainstream media, but let me answer that. So number one, Pierce, great to be with you. Dave, good to see you. It's been a little while, and thank you for dressing up, Dave. Had common sense and realized, do you vote for Trump, who might be brutish and an a-hole, or you vote for a weak, feckless, I wouldn't even call it leader like Kamala, and obviously the choice is pretty easy.
For about the first third of the debate, it's pretty substantive, but after that, Adam decides to change strategy and it gets a lot more heated. We're going to get into some of the fallacies and some of the mistakes that Adam made, which ultimately resulted in this debate going viral and Adam getting a lot of heat.
But I realized who Dave Smith is, and I would say this to his face or on camera. Dave Smith is a radical libertarian. Don't take my word for it. You've said this multiple times. Have you not, Dave Smith?
Said what? That I'm a radical libertarian? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Okay, perfect. So when you're radical, what's another word for?
What I believe in is true Americanism.
Extremist.
Dave calling himself a radical is completely irrelevant to the conversation. On top of that, it's a subjective term. He points to the fact that putting the term radical in front of libertarian means something wildly different than, for example, if you were to put it in front of the word communism. He points out to the fact that right now, Trump's recent decisions have made the majority of Americans a little unhappy.
You have the American flag behind you, yet you have the hypocrisy of saying the United States military, United States is the greatest terror organization the world has ever seen. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. This is why you're radical.
I didn't say
so by the way,
I tell you what, hang on, just to be fair to Dave, let's replay what he actually said on this show, which caused all the furore, led by Ben Shapiro. We'll play what he said.
IDF is the worst terrorist organization in the region. Let's get real. The United States of America is arguably the worst terrorist organization in the world. If you want to look over the last 25 years, how many innocent civilians we've slaughtered.
The actual debate they're having is which side of the coalition is correct on Iran, and how much heat should Trump get for other things such as the Easter posts and the Epstein files. Where Adam goes wrong is he takes it personal and tries to use that as an example as why people like Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson are wrong on those issues. This wouldn't be so bad if Adam brought it up and let it go, but he harps on it over and over throughout the entire debate.
From your comment.
I'm trying to
address
get to
the
it,
comment,
but there's a
not
lot
Ben
here.
Shapiro, would you? Good,
yes,
let's go, wrap it up.
No, I'm going to make the points I want to make.
You called the United States military.
You're just slowing. Okay, so
you
anyway,
called the United States military
order.
the greatest terror organization in the world.
Adam,
defend.
Just let me answer. No problem. I'm going to go back to the order I was going to go in. To Adam's point, when Adam says I'm a radical libertarian and I say that this is true Americanism, I mean, look, my favorite founding father is Thomas Paine. Not everyone considers him a founding father. And maybe I love him so much because he never held a government position and didn't own slaves, which I thought was pretty cool. But Benjamin Franklin said he was the most consequentialist and the one person most responsible for the United States of America existing. His famous pamphlet that he wrote was called Common Sense. And I think on the first or second line of it, he says, government is at best a necessary evil. So at best, he's like, this is clearly on the anarchist to night watchman state spectrum was what true Americanism was when it started. Now, for me to say what I made the point, and I've made this point a million times on your show, Pierce, I was saying when people come on and say Iran is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism, well, just like give me an objective definition of what terrorism means, and then let's apply that standard universally. And if you're going to sit here and say, look, America has given billions, tens of billions of dollars to the IDF in the last few years. We've also, by the way, given a lot of weapons and money. Your first guest on this show there, the head of the Obama deep state, was using Al-Qaeda, bin Ladenite head choppers on the ground in Libya and in Syria. And yes, Adam, I would also consider it when our politicians lie us into wars that slaughter millions of innocent people and in many cases target those innocent people. I consider that terrorism as well. There's the answer, Adam. And if you want to keep doing this, buddy, you could tell me to check the scoreboard. I'll run circles around you on this, dude. Check the scoreboard. Most unpopular war in American history going in. Check the scoreboard. 13 dead Americans and 150 plus other wounded. Thousands of innocents, including little schoolgirls in Iran, killed. Dead innocent Israelis. Hundreds of dead innocent people in Lebanon. Millions of innocent people being displaced, all at the cost of tens of billions of dollars and destroying Trump's coalition. Check your scoreboard, Adam. How's it looking for you?
Okay, Dave. Okay, it's not working well for you, Dave, because
substantively
you're
respond
still
to any
saying
of that,
that
Adam.
United States. You're saying the United States is a terrorist organization.
By the look of Dave's face, it seems like he's actually stunned that after fully explaining his answer, Adam went immediately back to the same point.
You've already lost the debate. You live in America, tough guy. You have the luxury of sitting in your little studio with your hooded sweater like you're 17 years old. The regime, you mean all American presidents?
I'm 17
Who's your favorite
years old?
president in the last 50 years?
Adam, I'm 17 years old.
Who's your favorite president in the last 50 years?
I have a wife and children. Who depends on you, Adam? Your mom?
Okay, I also have
if you want to make it personal,
other, so you want to go personal?
You have a significant other.
We can go as personal as we can go.
No, I'm trying not to.
We can go as personal as you want.
Respond to one thing.
I don't care, Dave.
Adam, some substance.
I don't care.
I know, because you don't know anything.
Dave, you're a radical.
So move on. So stop picking a fight with me, dude. You don't know anything about anything. You're Pat's guy.
I know.
And I like you, dude. I like you. I like your show. I respect Pat.
Dave, okay. Zip it. Here we go. I'll talk now for a second. I'm defending the military right now. You're basically saying that all our boys that go to the military are all terrorists. That's what you're saying.
No.
You're equating that the United States of America, the IDF, are the equivalent of ISIS and Al Qaeda. By the way, I also used to respect you until you went on a little podcast called Coleman Hughes. What happened on that podcast, Dave? This is the problem. I'll tell you.
Adam's referring to a debate that Dave had with conservative YouTuber Coleman Hughes. Dave admitted it wasn't his best debate. If you watch it, yeah, it's not, but it really isn't terrible. Coleman is extremely knowledgeable and a pretty good debater. However, Adam felt like it was a weak enough debate to lean on. The problem is most of the internet sided with Dave. It was a little cringy.
You do it right now, Adam. Why don't you do it?
I'll do it right now, Dave. I'll do it right now. Because here's what Dave is. Here's Dave Smith. By the way, 1% of Americans vote for libertarians every year. So you're trying to basically say that you know more than the average American. 1% of Americans vote for your people, Dave. Why don't you run for something? Why don't you stand for something? You stand for nothing.
Okay, can I respond? Again, Pierce, this is the level of substance.
No. Here we go. I'm going to tell you a story, Dave, and then you can respond. Because this is where I lost respect for you as a debater. Because I was like, oh, this guy Dave, he actually knows some stuff. He's doing his thing. And then you showed up on Coleman Hughes' podcast. Pierce, do you know who Coleman Hughes is?
I do. He's been on the show.
I've been on the show with him.
Perfect. That's this guy right here, just in case, if the camera doesn't see.
But what is the point you're making?
I watched this podcast. The point is this. Dave gets out there and he tries to bully people and say that he's so smart. He reads a lot of books. Good for you, Dave. But what happens when you run into somebody who's way smarter and bullies the bully? I remember growing up in this town of Miami, so there was this kid that used to pick on all the kids that we went to school with. And one day, some new kid showed up, and he goes, oh, yeah, let's go, buddy. Let's do this. And the bully goes, oh, what do you mean? Conversation about Wesley Clark. And I saw him on your podcast about a week ago, Pierce. And this memo, here you go, Dave. Remember this memo from Wesley Clark?
Well, I'm not quite sure Adam, I'm not quite sure what is the point you're making.
The point is this. Dave has zero credibility at this point. Dave has zero credibility.
Well, you don't
at this
really
point.
get to decide
and he
that.
ran
You know,
into
the people,
somebody
the audience gets
that
to decide
completely
that.
bullied. What audience?
Okay.
The four people that show up to your comedy show at the
Yeah. Okay, Dave, you respond.
Okay. Can I respond now because I listened while
I mean,
you
the question I'd ask you, Dave. The question I'd ask you, Dave, is the way that you're.
Well, let me respond to some of that, Pierce.
I will, yeah,
this will just be your tactic for the rest of it because you're out of and you're just out of your depth. But here, okay, yes, actually, I didn't vote for the Libertarian nominee.
Go ahead,
Donald Trump came to the Libertarian Party convention and tried to convince a lot of us to support him, and I'm one of the people who did, and now I'm one of the people who's criticizing this policy. Now, in terms of, obviously, Pierce, it's a provocative statement. I know that when I make it, and I'm not claiming that the American military men are the equivalent of ISIS or Al Qaeda. Obviously, they're much more barbaric. These head choppers, the one who Leon Panetta and Barack Obama all sold weapons to and partnered with, and the one who Donald Trump recognized as the president of Syria. I'm not saying that one isn't more barbaric than the other. I'm simply making the point, Pierce, that if you define terrorism as targeting civilians in order to effect a political change, then by that objective definition, the US military and the IDF are more guilty of it than anyone else over the last 25 years.
Their argument is always that the US military and the IDF do not deliberately target civilians.
Yes, Pierce, but again, Pierce, we've been through this.
I'm just saying, for the benefit.
Pierce makes the argument that Adam should be making. If Dave is going to put the United States in the same category as these people, then he has to back up his claim. I think his statement runs into the same problem that ACAB and Defund the Police run into. Depending on who you're talking to and when you're talking to them, it's either 100% serious or it's a metaphor for a broader picture. I just feel like these statements are more provocative than they are useful. However, Adam is not equipped to make this argument, and thus Dave walks away the winner. Dave does try to bring it back to substance, but Adam doesn't change his tune.
Yeah, and listen, I do respect the fact that Dave does show up.
He does.
I mean, that's like, okay, cool, you showed up. Respect to that. I will give Dave credit. But Dave, and this is why I'm going to keep going back to this, to pretend that it was an even match an even debate. He put you in a body bag, and you're out here still doubling down on all your positions when he went methodically and surgically.
This is the saddest thing. I've never been in a debate where someone just fell back to someone else's debate. Boom, boom, boom. Name one of the booms. Make the point for yourself. Me and you are supposed to be debating here, brother.
The memo from Wesley Clark. The memo from Wesley Clark. Your whole foundation for your Israel. So listen up, little guy. So your whole foundation for Israel dragging America into war was that this memo from Wesley Clark showed up, and that's the reason that America got suckered into the Iraq war, because Israel convinced him to do it. And he went and surgically and methodically and very calmly was like, Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. Your entire foundation crumbled. And you're dipping, you're doing your little thing.
Can I respond?
Or you're drinking your nicotine.
Can I respond to this?
So, but the point is this. Your Holland's Opus, this 3-hour debate with Coleman Hughes, it wasn't close, Dave. And that's fine. You want to sort of be a revisionist.
That's your opinion.
And say, you know what?
I'm not being revisionist.
We went point for point. No, Dave, that was any person with logic, because you didn't have a response.
Adam,
your only response was,
this is so ridiculous, Dave.
Adam, it is an unusual position to spend.
It's not ridiculous.
Adam, it's an unusual position that I've had you guys
because
on.
that was the aha moment for me.
So far,
where I said this guy is actually a lightweight.
Adam,
he's actually a lightweight.
Adam,
well, this is that moment for you, for a lot of people, Adam. So congratulations.
My point to you, Adam, would simply be it's an unusual debating strategy to spend 10 minutes of this debate talking about another debate that most viewers may not have seen.
There's a lot of valid points to bring up in regards to Dave's comments, but Adam's got to bring them up. This debate is a really good example of how you can use logical fallacies to shift the argument, but that you can't rely on them for your entire argument. Had Adam brought these points up as a side, they might have been nice little jabs like he had in the beginning of their discussion. But instead, they're the core of his argument and they never get below the surface. But those are just my thoughts. Leave your comments about how Adam did, how Dave did, and what your opinion on this is overall. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updates on all of my latest content. Till next time.